So your recommendation to me, Rob?
Yes, my recommendation to you. I'm a big fan of shoegazing and alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like both of those things in a neat little package, the total package,
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luger, if you will, then I highly recommend Teenage Wrist, who are an American alternative rock band from LA.
Mm-hmm.
They've been going since 2014. In 2015, they released their debut EP. And then in late 2017, they announced they were signed to Epitaph Records, which released their full-length album, first full-length album, Chrome Neon Jesus, which I still need to buy from Amazon because it's amazing. Yeah, if you like emo and shoegaze, and you like bands like Basement or Dashboard Confessional, or bands, I guess you could just with atmosphere, but very melodic, very hooky, chorusy vocals, then I highly recommend Teenage Wrist. But I'm going to give KB their latest single to listen to now, called Silverspoon. And it's a bit of a journey for this lot, actually, because they were a four-piece, but unfortunately the lead singer / bass guitarist of this band, Camtin Moher, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, actually left last year, and their guitarist followed suit earlier this year. So right now they're only a two-piece. Right. And when you hear this, you will think, how on earth do two people come up with something like this? Because it really does have a monolithic kind of ethereal, not monolithic in terms of Gojira-sized riffs, but in terms of just atmosphere and just has a nice vibe, a nice meditative vibe.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Kieran, have you got it up?
I've had it up since the beginning. Yeah. Okay.
Have you got it up? And also, have you got the Teenage Wrist song in your earphones yet?
This is what I was looking at and looking down at, just trying to find the song on Spotify. So yeah, got it all under control and ready to go. So let's listen to The Cure.
Yeah, a lot of Cure in here, a lot of My Bloody Valentine, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But there's that alternative American 90s sounding rock in there as well, which I'm just an absolute sucker for. Bands like Stone Temple Pilots last year at Download were one of my all-time highlights at any festival, because that's actually a point when the sun came out for once. It was just constant horrible weather throughout Download last year.
I'm listening to it now, and I like those vocals straight off the bat, and I love that.
Straight off the bat, right?
I love the atmosphere.
Heavily melodic and very hooky and very airy.
This might sound weird, but it kind of reminds me of Alcest, like their latest album. Like they had that sort of trance in it, but I think a bit more at the forefront than Alcest. Like Alcest are very
for the uneducated out there, Alcest are a band that has a unique mix of, I would say, shoegaze and black metal. So you have very metally kind of huge guitars and huge riffs, but atmosphere and pathos and hooks for days. They're another band well worth checking out. And Teenage Wrist, I guess, alternative rock and shoegaze. I think one of the terms coined by a stream that we're both listening to, one of the listeners on that, where I first heard this tune, so I can't thank them enough for this, coined it emo gaze. Have you got to the chorus yet?
I think this is the chorus right now, yeah. Just like I said, like just the atmosphere of it. I could see on Spotify they like Silverspoon in itself is rising up in terms of viewership, but Stoned Alone seems to be their like hit song out of all songs they've done. Yeah, so this is that as well.
They only released this like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and already it's up there with my favourite tunes of this year, which we'll probably go into at some point on a future podcast.
I'm in that bridge now. That drum solo is just I won't say perfect, but it's wonderful. I love the way the snare sounds as well.
But it has that sort of wishy-washy kind of gliding quality, you know.
Yeah. No,
it's like all the instrumentation is embracing you and giving you a big hug.
It's like it's one of those bands that you just see like every single person in the crowd at download would be putting their lighters in the air.
Oh yes, totally. This is a sort of driving at night kind of vibe.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to more of them because, like I said in that Bees show yesterday, that they shout out to Mosh Talks. Yeah.
It's Bees from ex-Scuzz, ex-Metal Hammer, current That's Not Metal podcast host, playing music all night long on Twitch, and we have Roadrunner Records tournaments and tournaments of bands beginning with A and B and C, and it's just a good vibe, good people, good hangout. I'll give them a shout out at the end of this podcast as well.
Yeah, I think.
But Kieran, what are your thoughts on that tune?
It makes me want to meditate to it. For one, I don't think it's appropriate to say it makes me want to fall asleep because that would be taken the wrong way.
Sounds almost derogatory when you say you want to fall asleep to a tune, but it really does have that kind of Away with the Fairies dreamlike vibe. Deftones, Smashing Pumpkins as well, all over the shop. If you're a fan of any of those, then I would recommend this. That was Teenage Wrist and Silverspoon.
There's a difference between being bored to sleep and being rested easily, and that's that. It falls into the latter of that. But it's got that nice chilled vibe that, like, if I'm not in the mood for like heavy music, like Orbit Culture, for example, then I'll stand back and listen to that, and that'll probably be on a playlist with bands like Tool, with that sort of vibe going, and Alcest, as we've previously mentioned. So yeah, I'm excited, but I also have a bit of room to make on my phone because my disk gives me a full, and I've got like 120 gig on it. So yeah, I tend to do that from time to time. I go from A to Z and see which songs that I've listened to for more than a minute from the start, and then I just remove those songs.
And I'm just reading just a little quick thing about Silverspoon here from epitaph.com. It says that it was indeed produced by the guy behind Basement. Well, one of the producers behind Basement. And he also worked with Data Remember and Papa Roach.
All right.
His name's Colin Britton. And the track explores how excessive comfort can be destructive in relationships. And it's apparently a song they've had in the bank for several years, something they started before they even wrote all of Chrome Neon Jesus, which was their last full-length studio album, which is an amazing record. And they thought it was going to be a kind of a deep sleeper and one of the last tracks on the record, but everyone ended up loving it so much that it got bumped to the following album cycle single. So there you go. I can't wait for this album to be released.
Okay, I'll be taking a look out for it as well.